All right, so 5 months ago, I was losing my hair fast. It was most on the crown, but it started to proceed and move forward. I wasn't taking anything. I wasn't taking Modoxil or anything like this, and I wanted to stick to 100% natural route. So here was my results after 5 months. So this was the beginning of June, right here, as we can see. This is what we had in June. You can see clearly right here, I was thinning on the crown, and it was starting to proceed forward. I wasn't taking anything, not using anything. This was June 2025. So about 5 months ago, 5.5 months. And at this point in time, when I saw this picture, this was when I was like, bro, I gotta change something I'm doing, you know? It got to a point where it was like, I knew it was possible, first off. I had the belief within me. I was like, I know it's possible to regrow your hair. It's just hair, you know, hair grow. So it makes sense. And at this point in time, I was like, I got to change something. So I started to focus on two things. One, what I was putting in my body, right? The internal. And then two, the external. What different things, oils I could apply externally to stimulate the scalp, you know? So I first noticed it about 5 months ago. So this was me back in 2021. I'm 27 now, so this was about 4 years ago. So as you can see, my scalp, it's fine, you know, full head of hair, no thinning on the crown, everything was solid. And then this was September 2024. Here, I was 26 at the time, and you could start to see, you start to see a slight thin, right? Mainly on the scalp, but not so much moving forward. This was last year. And then, like I said, also this was in June 2025. You can see a little spot at the top of my head. So when I started to see these different images, you got to realize, like, this is my first time going through a process like this. You know, I always had a full head of hair. So as a result, this started to mess with me subconsciously, you know. I might be in line at, like, just say like Whole Foods or something, right? Paying for my food, da-da-da, da-da-da. And in the back of my head, I'm thinking like, man, I wonder if such and such behind me looking at my bald spot, you know? You know, it just play with your head. And I turn around and, like, she on her phone scrolling. Ain't nobody looking at your head, bro. But subconsciously, you start to think about these things, you know? At least I did. And it started to have, I would say, less confidence because of it, to be honest. Like, you know, that hair start to get thin up there, and you just start wondering, like, man, what's next? Am I going to be bald in another 6 months? Like, at this rate, like, it was progressing quickly, you know? So I'm thinking, man, in the next 6 months, I might not have no hair. You know what I'm saying? So it was a situation where I wanted to make a change immediately. And these are the things that I did naturally. I focused on the internal first. That's the first thing I did. And then I focused on the external. And like I said, these were the results I had after the 5.5 months. So this, right, and this. So this is a 5.5 month window. Big difference. Let me show you another angle after 5. This picture on the left was taken today. So that's the difference. Let me see if I can show you a better picture on the here, this part. Okay. That was from today. So you see the progress, you see the progression. All natural, 100% natural. No Modoxil, and you got to worry about, you know, am I gonna have an erection when I'm with my girl and all of this bullshit. So I didn't want to take nothing that wasn't natural, nothing prescribed by a doctor, no side effects, 100% natural, just a good diet, PRP if you could afford it, and good oils. So we're going to go ahead and discuss the stuff I took and what helped lead to this transformation. So the first thing I started focusing on was just my diet. I just wanted to make sure I had a clean diet, right? So I was only eating one time a day throughout this process. And whatever you do, whatever you try, you want to give yourself at least a 90-day window. At least 90 days. Like this is the time frame. You like, I'm gonna have a plan. I'm gonna create a plan. What's the goal? You want to regrow your hair. That's the goal. Okay, I got my goal. Two, you want to create a plan. First, you want to create a diet. What is my current diet? And how can I improve my current diet? So let me explain. If your current diet is maybe like processed sugars, you drinking a lot of soft drinks, you drinking a lot of dairy products, you eating a lot of meat, these things create inflammation in the body. That's important because if you create inflammation in your body, you're not gonna have as good blood flow. Okay, so if you don't have as good blood flow, you're gonna have less oxygen getting to your scalp. Promotes hair loss. So you want to make sure you have a clean diet. So for me, my clean diet, I was eating one time a day throughout this whole process, 90 days. Give yourself at least 90 days. I was drinking only coconut water. I stopped drinking regular water. Not saying you got to stop drinking regular water, but don't drink tap water, right? Fluoride in tap water. Don't drink tap water. Just drink fresh water, clean water, spring water, preferably in a glass if you could afford it. But if not, bottled water, spring water is the best thing. No tap water. Okay, a clean diet, no fried foods. All of these things clog arteries, right? You want good blood flow, good oxygenation throughout the bloodstream. No fried foods, no seed oils. Seed oils like what, Trey? Canola oil, grapeseed oil, all of these different oils. What type of oils are good oils that you want to eat with? Preferably 100% virgin olive oil, okay? Maybe avocado oil, coconut oil. These are good oils. You don't want to use bad oils. So one, oils. Two, processed sugars, soft drinks, Sprite, Coke. You want to cut these out. What else? Snacks, sweet snacks, donuts, all things like this. You know what I mean? Candy, all of these things, right? Because all of these things in your body, you got to realize everything in life has a cause and an effect. You're going to either have a good cause, which was what? Good food, and you have a good effect. Healthy body, healthy blood flow, healthy scalp. Or you have bad cause. Bad cause equals bad food, right? And you'll have bad blood flow, bad scalp, bad inflammation, less oxygenation in your bloodstream, less flow to the scalp, right? So everything's about blood flow, everything's about energy, everything's about frequency, and you want to be able to make sure you can vibrate at the highest frequency possible. And you do that by what? Eating good foods. Okay, so one, processed sugars. Two, dairy products. You kind of want to stay away from these. These promote inflammation as well. You want to eat an alkaline diet. I'll show you some of the things that I started taking as well. Because I was only eating one time a day, I wanted to make sure I was still getting the adequate amount of nutrients that I thought I might have been missing. So these are things that I added, to the internal so I can make sure the external was able to function properly. So one, you can go ahead and get you a collagen, right? So this collagen has zinc, selenium, B12, B6, vitamin C, vitamin A, all the minerals that your body needs. I would definitely recommend a collagen. It also supports structural protein in the human body found in the skin, joints, bones, blood vessels, connective tissues. So you want to make sure you're taking some type of collagen. At least for me, this is what worked really well for me. Helps revitalize the skin, fights effects of aging, like what, hair loss. So that was the first one I got. The next one I started taking was biotin. Where's the biotin? This one. So I take this, still take this every day. 5,000 biotin. This is good for obviously your hair, your skin, your nails. Supports the amino acid, promotes normal immune function. So I would definitely recommend some type of biotin. There's higher levels of biotin. You could take like a 20,000, 15,000. This just worked for me. I took a 5,000. That was good. Next to that, I started taking a B12. And I'm not saying you got to take every one of these. I'm just showing you what I started taking, what helped for me. I was taking a B12. This is just essential for the energy production. Also has the folic acid. I started taking these as well. Good for me. Gave me more energy. Also, I started taking L-Lysine. Now, L-Lysine is an amino acid that doesn't produce naturally. So you have to consume this through some type of food because your body doesn't produce L-Lysine naturally. So this supports collagen synthesis, and it's also a healthy immune function. So this one was really well too. It helps essentially connect the tissue such as skin, the tendons, and the bones. Makes everything connecting really well. And then I also was taking the iron. So the iron is good. I don't eat meat. I only eat one time a day. So for me, it was pretty important to take some type of iron. And then lastly, I started was taking the MSM. So the MSM essentially binds what? The L-Lysine and the iron together and the zinc. So it essentially binds these things together so they can work properly, a better flow between them. So that's what I was taking internally. And I also added at some point in time the mushroom complex. Now the rush mushroom complex consisted of reishi mushroom, lion's mane, changa mushroom. What else we had in there? Oh, and I think I had one other in here. Spirulina was in here. Spirulina is super good. So I was taking all of these. These are good because they help with what? Stress and cortisol levels. So if you have too much stress and you have too much cortisol, guess what happens? There's less oxygenation in your bloodstream. So with less oxygenation, with less nutrients, there's less flow to your scalp, less blood flow. So these were super good for me. Help you reduce stress, reduce the cortisol levels, keep you at a homeostasis within, and keep you at the right frequency. So these were super good for me. Like it's about 7 different ones in there. I don't know if I mentioned them all, but I would suggest to get some type of mushroom complex. Your reishi, your changa mushroom, your lion's mane. What else? Your cordyceps was in here, and a couple other ones. So this was super good for me too. So that's your minerals. So now that we know what we got a healthy diet, right? I'm not saying you got to eat one time a day either. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is you want to make sure you eat an alkaline diet, right? Maybe less bread, maybe less pastas, maybe less fried foods, less seed oils, less sugar. These things are not good for the body. They promote inflammation. You have less energy, obviously, after you eat all of this bread and pasta. You feel sluggish. You want to eat foods that are on a pH level, potential of hydrogen, alkaline, right? Alkaline forming, at least when you eat them. Like I said, what type of foods are these? Fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, things like this. So that's on the diet side. So you want to make sure you have a good diet. You want to make sure you staying hydrated always. Coconut water. If you could, afford to drink coconut water. If not, no big deal. Spring water is good too, preferably in a bottle. If not in a bottle, I mean glass bottle, but if not in a glass bottle, plastic bottle will do too. So you want to make sure you're doing that as well. And then lastly, you want to make sure you get these. So this is rosemary oil. Now the rosemary oil is super important. The rosemary oil stimulates the scalp, creates blood flow. This was something you apply every single day. 100%. You want to make sure it's 100% rosemary oil too. Not some bullshit rosemary oil with, 50% rosemary oil, 40% bullshit. Make sure you get 100% rosemary oil. I will put it on, but I got the PRP treatment today. I got the injections and everything today, so I'm not going to put it in today. But all you want to do is make sure you just, you know what I'm saying? Put it all over like that. You don't need much. This shit is strong. You don't need much. So just make sure you put about 4 or 5 drops. And use this every day. Every day. And also, you could combine that with the batana oil. This is natural too. This comes from the tree. So this is 100% pure cold pressed batana oil. So this is good because it has nutrients and such as vitamin E and antioxidants and fatty acids. So you also want to add this after you put that in. You rub that in real good. You take the batana oil. You put a few drops of batana oil over it. You rub this in real good. You want to do each one about 30 seconds. 30 seconds, a minute, between 30 seconds and a minute is good. Just rub it in real good. Because not only when you're rubbing your oil in, you stimulating the scalp. When you stimulate the scalp, you what? Increasing blood flow. You're creating friction. You want to create friction. So this is good. So put both of them in. You can do it more than a night, whenever you want to do it. Uh, Both of them are super strong, super potent. So you only need, don't go over excess. Your shit gonna be, it's just too much. A couple drops, 4 or 5 drops, batana oil, 4 or 5 drops, rosemary oil. Mix it in real good. Like I said, give it a minute, 30 seconds, mix them, stimulate the scalp real good. So that's what you want to be doing daily, okay? You want to be focusing on your diet, right? Keeping your diet clean, no fast foods, no fried foods, all of this, clean water, fruits, vegetables, right? That's your internal. Also, you want to take your internal, which is supplements, your minerals, making sure you're getting every mineral. Maybe you're already getting these minerals. Maybe you're not deficient in these minerals. You might not even need these minerals. I took these minerals because I felt, as in my diet, I could potentially, it's not that like I got a blood test or something. I just thought I could potentially be lacking these minerals because of the diet that I eat. I don't eat much. So that's why I decided to take these minerals, and they worked for me. I mean, you saw the results, they worked for me. So I would suggest, if you could afford them, take them. And if you can't, so be it. And if I could suggest you take, just say, hey, Trey, I can't afford any of these minerals. Well, I would start with the oils. Hey, Trey, I can only afford one thing right now. Okay, no big deal. At one point in time in life, I couldn't afford none of this shit either. I probably could afford one thing. So start with this. Start with your rosemary oil. If this is all you could afford right now, start with your rosemary oil. And the main thing about the rosemary oil is about consistency. Any of these things, any of these supplements, it's about consistency. I got a friend right now. He taking Modaxil. He told me, I just got off the phone with him today. He taking Modaxil. He got a little, a little patch right here. A little, it's a little thin right here. Everything else good, but it's thin right here. He taking Modaxil. He showed me day 1 and he showed me day 90. No results. I said, damn, bro. I said, you've been taking it every day? Like, I'm not really seeing no results after 90 days, bro. He like, oh, well, sometimes I take it. Sometimes I don't take it. I might take it one day and then miss 3-4 days. It's too inconsistent. Newton's third law states that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, right? So we can't control the reaction. We can't control the output. But what we can control, the input, the action. What's the action? Taking our stuff every day. We can control that. We are in control if we take our rosemary oil in it every day and apply the ointment. We can control if we take our minerals every day. We can't control the output. What's the output? If your crown, the hair on your crown grow back. If maybe you're getting like lighting up here, if that grow back, we can't control that. But we can control the consistency of which we applying the batana oil and taking these different supplements. So I would definitely say, give this stuff 90 days. It don't happen overnight. This shit take time, just like anything in life. You got to put it in the oven and let it bake. You got to let it bake. So let it bake. And let it bake mean give it time. Because it's not ready if you just do it once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month. It's okay to miss a day out the week. It's not the end of the world. It's okay to make two days out the week. It's okay to miss 3 or 4 days out the month. But just don't let it be a continuous thing. You want to make sure you're using this every single day if you can. And if you miss a day or two, like I said, it's fine. No big deal. Okay. So that's the main things that I was taking. Next, you want to make sure you have the diet, right? The internal. We focused on the external, the ointments, right? Rosemary oil, 100% batana oil. And then we could also focus on the external by also taking what? PRP. Now let me show you. So the PRP is the plasma. Now let me pull it up. Let me see if I can find the pictures. Give me 1 second. Okay, here's right here. So the PRP is the plasma, right? So basically, this is what I started doing as well. Essentially, you can get the plasma done, okay? This is what happens. I'm in Bali right now. Right now, I think I paid $175 for the treatment. Treatment take like 30 minutes. 100% natural, all natural. Look, I went and got it today. Look, I still got the thing on my arm. So you sit down in the chair. They pull your blood. They draw your blood. They fill up this whole tube full of blood, right? They take this blood. they put it in this machine and they spin your blood. They spin it for about 15 minutes. After they spin your blood, you get left with this plasma, okay? Super potent, super nutrient, all the nutrients, right? So as you can see, they got the blood at the bottom and this yellow stuff at the top right here. This is the plasma. After they do this process, they take the plasma, right? They get the needle. They get a needle. I got a video right here of them doing it. They get a needle and they start doing injections on the top of your scalp. Okay, so this was from today. This is how the process looked. Now, like I said, here in Bali, the treatment $175. If you go get this same treatment in the US, you might spend $450, $500 for a session. Now you want to get these sessions. I just started doing these sessions. This was only my second one. You want to get these done about once a month. Okay, this is only my second one. So you want to get them done about once a month, every 30 days. So this is him checking out my scalp, looking to see where I want it. You know,
still the crown. Yeah.
Still a crown. Yeah, still a crown. Put it in the crown. He got the plasma in the syringe. He already drew it from the tube, and he got the plasma in the syringe right now. So now this other lady just applying ice. That's all it is. But like he going to the top, and he injecting. He injecting. So the whole process don't take long, 30 minutes max. But this is what he do. It's painless. I mean, you feel a little needle, but it almost feel like he relieving pressure. It's not a strong pain or something like this. Nothing to be scared of. It's a small needle, but he injecting that plasma into my scalp right now. You see him injecting it to my scalp. And he do this all over the scalp, wherever you wanted it, wherever you're denting. So if you're denting here and here, I'm good in this area. I was good in this area. That wasn't a problem. So he didn't touch this. Well, he put a little bit here, but mainly it was my crown, you know. And everybody in my family bald. My uncle bald, his brother bald, his other brother, all his brothers was bald. So that's kind of like running my genes too. Despite if baldness or alopecia or any of these things running your genes, there is things that you could do that could help stimulate your scalp, help stimulate your hair, natural things without taking all of this Modaxil and all this bullshit. So I would go the natural route. Maybe you can't afford the PRP, the plasma, but you don't have to start with the plasma. You don't have to start with all of this stuff. Start with one thing at a time. It's like anything in life. If you wanted to go to the gym and get healthy, and get your weight up, you're not going to go in the gym and put 315 on the bench. You're just not going to do it. You're going to start with what? Maybe just a bar. Maybe a 5-10 pound on each side. So start small. Start with one at a time. You know what I mean? If I had to suggest one thing, like I said, get the rosemary oil. After that, I would build my thing up. Maybe you get this the second month, the batana oil, 100% batana oil. And you just build up your thing. After that, if I had to suggest something, maybe I would go get the MSM. After the MSM, next month, maybe I go get the L-Lysine. And these things have enough supply for this 120, so that's 2 months. This one 100 tablets. That's almost 2 months. So it's not like that's only going to last you a couple of weeks. That each time you buy it, it's going to last you about almost 2 months. So you slowly build up what's in your Rolodex. It's not a overnight process. You don't have to go out and spend all of this money, $1,000 on all of this stuff. You build it up one day at a time, So also with the PRP, it's so effective because this stuff carry oxygen, with your red blood cells. So it's super stimulating. It's super nutrient, right? So many nutrients in that blood, so many nutrients in that plasma. So when they put it on, man, that shit work. I'm telling you from experience and from, firsthand experience that it worked. So I highly suggest you if you can afford it, I would tell you to go ahead and get it. And then next, what I get after that. So after they do the plasma, they do the microneedling. And this is the microneedling. Then also with the plasma, it's a situation where it reactivates the dormant hair follicles. So if the hair follicles are like sleeping or dormant and not performing, it helps stimulate those as well. So after they finish the microneedling, after they finish the injections, the plasma injections, then they come back with the microneedling. So the microneedling is a small needlings, and it's creating essentially tiny holes in the scalp. Look, watch. Syringe in his right hand, or left hand rather. That's the more plasma. The microneedling feel like a head massage. It don't hurt. It really don't. So it's nothing to be like, oh, is this shit gonna hurt me? And I don't like, no. My head was itching during this thing. My head was itching. He hit me with that microneedling, man. Shit felt good. But yeah, it's just like a massage. So yeah, that's what I do. So that's the microneedling, and then finally, after they finish that, they finish and they put like a little some kind of like anti-inflammation, antibacterial cream on it, so it don't get infected, and then your process done. So like I said, if you do it in the U.S., here it cost me 170. You do it in the U.S., it's gonna cost you $500 a session. So it is what it is. And then also, lastly, I would suggest semen retention. And when I was researching, stimulating how to grow your hair back and things like this, I didn't see anybody really talk about semen retention. But for me, when you think about it, it only makes sense. Because think about it. Okay, you go have sex and say you release. Well, what happens when you release? What are you releasing? You're releasing nutrients, all your minerals, your zinc, phosphorus, iron, all the minerals your body needs. You're releasing your life force. You know what I mean? It's your life force. You create a baby with this, right? So if you go ahead and release your life force, having sex, jacking off, well, what you think gonna happen to your body? You're gonna have less energy, less oxygen, less aura, right? You're not gonna have that glow, that magnetism about you, because you're releasing every day or every other day. So I would, for me, this is what I did. I'm telling you what I did. I would suggest you go 90 days. Maybe that's too much for y'all. I'm not sure. I'm gonna just tell you what I did. I went 90 days and I practiced semen retention. So you can still have sex and not release. Right before it's time, you just squeeze your perineum, right? Right below your gooch. You squeeze and you squeeze, you don't release it. So I would suggest you don't release it. Keep that essence to yourself, because think about it. If we taking all of this iron, this biotin, this zinc, and we having sex, or you jacking off every day and you releasing your semen, your life force, your chi, your energy, well, you working against yourself. And right now, everything we want to be doing, we want to work in tandem, right? So if you're taking all of this stuff, you want to make sure you also maintaining your energy levels within your semen. So it was super important for me to practice semen retention while I was doing it. That's what I did. I believe when you just releasing so much, you counterproductive. You releasing everything, and then you're trying to take your minerals and everything, and then you release them every day. So it's better if you could be able to let that stuff build up. So if you had any questions about, man, can I grow my hair back? I'm losing it. Da da da. Yes, you can. First, you gotta believe it's possible. That's the first thing. I believe it's possible. I'm showing you it's possible. I showed you the steps, what you need to do, how you need to do it. Let me show you the before and after one more time. Like, the shit working. And like I said, it's only 5 months. Where am I be at in another year from now? Another 6 months from now. Like, look at the results. Like, shit look good. This shit look good. Come on. Call a spade, call a spade. It ain't a situation where this shit gonna happen overnight. Know that it's not gonna happen overnight. So trust the process. Like I said, the biggest thing that you have and that you need to realize is it don't happen overnight, and that you need to have consistency doing it. You can't show up one day, take your minerals, put your oil in, and then not take it for another 4 or 5 days. No, 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 no. It ain't gonna work. Your shit gonna be gone if you do that. I'm telling you right now. So if you don't want your shit to be gone, I didn't want my shit to be gone. If you're watching this video, I know damn well you don't want your shit to be gone. So make sure you're taking your minerals, you're being consistent, you're being disciplined, and you have the belief that it's possible. I know you believe it's possible because you're watching this and you're still watching this. So take what you need to take. Maybe you need to take some of these. I would recommend you could take all of them if you could afford it. If not, like I said, build it up one at a time. And these are the results. And I'll show you a few more pictures. Like, look at the crown. The crown look good. It's only 5 months. Give me another 5 months. I'm thankful for the results I did have. Talk to yourself positively. Have good. You don't have to beat. Oh, it's still not where I wanted to be. It's still a little thin, right here. Man, it's better than before. I mean, look at this shit. That shit was looking bad. I'm thankful for the results. It looked good. It looked good. Look at that. Look at on the forehead, man. Hair just hanging down. It won't hang down now. I'm saying that shit look good, bro. Look at the volume. Look at the density of the hair. It looked vibrant to me, bro. It looked better. Look thick it look all in here. Look at the density. I see volume now. Look at this. This shit look dead over here. Shit dying. Weeds growing. Look, man. Shit dead in there. Now everything looking good. Look at all the hair on the forehead just growing everywhere. Look, growing. So that's what I would do. That's what I would do. So believe it's possible. Have the belief in your mind that it's possible. Be thankful that it's already done. 1. 2, focus on your diet internally first. No processed foods, no sugars, no fried foods, no seed oils. Eat electric foods, fruits, vegetables. Drink clean water, coconut water, preferably. So that's the internal. Then we focus on then we also add our minerals if we need them. Iron, MSM, biotin, collagen, lysine, B12, right? We want to add those. Then the mushroom complex. If you could add the mushroom complex, even better. And then you want to focus on your oils. Batana oil, rosemary oil. Focus on your oils. And last but not least, you got to execute. We got the plan. We got the goal. The goal is what? To regrow hair. That's the goal. The goal is to get like this, to get better. So the goal is to get better, to regrow the hair. The plan. What's the plan? Take our minerals, take our oils. If you could afford to get the PRP, get the PRP once a month if you could afford that. If not, just focus on your minerals and your oils. That's the plan. And we also, part of the plan is to what? 90 days. That's the time frame of the plan. So we need to take these for 90 days every day. And you could apply the stuff, like I said, morning or night. Don't make a difference. One time a day, that's all you need is to apply the ointments and oils one time a day for 90 days. And then 3, we got to execute. And execution means we need to take this every single day for 90 days. Now, if you miss a day or two without the 90 days, so be it. But consistency compounds, focus on consistency. Don't worry about the results. The results come when you focus on the process. And when you focus on the process, the results are what? A byproduct. The image on the right, is the what? A reflection. The image on the left, rather, is a reflection of me what? Focus on the process. Focus on the day-to-day. I'm not worried about the results. I'm focused on the day-to-day process. The results came by byproduct of me focusing on the process. So focus on the process. Believe it's possible. I believe it's possible. I believe in you, so you could believe it's possible. And if you need any help, comment in the comments what you need help. If you want me to elaborate on something else a little more, if you got any questions about anything, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you need help. Till next time. Peace. I left out. Avoid the drugs. Avoid the alcohol. avoid the smoking. All of these things are making your body have to work harder. You don't want your body to be working harder during this time period. You want to give your body enough nutrients, enough sleep. I also forgot to mention sleep. Make sure you're getting enough rest. Make sure you're getting enough sleep. Make sure you're getting enough, about 8 hours if you can. Don't be staying up all night, because your body recovers when what? It sleeps. That's when your body recovers, when it goes to sleep. And lastly, this may be the most important thing. Do not, and I repeat, do not wear no do-rag, no skull cap, no beanie, no hat, and all of the fucking above. Because when you wear this shit, think about this. If I put a beanie on my head or a hat because I want to hide, because I'm self-conscious, right? I want to hide my shit. I'm thinking like, oh, I want nobody to see. You restricting what? Blood flow. You restricting oxygen. This is like grass. Picture like grass, right? Grass has to grow. It has to breathe. So if I put a hat on all day and my shit already gone, well, guess what? It's really gonna be nothing there. So you gotta allow blood flow. You gotta allow oxygen to flow. This thing has to breathe. You cannot suffocate your scalp. So, I mean, this is probably the most important thing. I'm gonna say it is the most important thing, because this shit will accelerate like no other if you start wearing hats every day, beanies every day, skull caps every day, do rags every day. Don't put nothing on your head but the stuff I talked about. Please don't do nothing. So with that being said, make sure you also get that sleep. No drugs. If you smoke a little weed, I mean, do what you got to do, but don't make it something you're doing every day. Try to limit these things while you're in this period of trying to, get results, maximize your results. So if you want to maximize your results, cut it out completely for 90 days. Limit your alcohol intake. Cut that out completely too if you can. And also, like I said, don't put anything on your head that restrict the oxygen, the blood flow of your scalp. No hats or anything like this. I actually put a hat on when I was in Africa. I put a hat on for like a week, and I took it off. And it wasn't because of that, but it was because I needed a haircut. But I put a hat on for a week, and I took that fucking hat off, and yeah, it wasn't good. So make sure you focus on the process. Make sure you also follow those last little things I mentioned, and good luck.